With regard to the drug screen today, he advises me that he will not pass the drug screen. Said he was going to be positive for marijuana and meth.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Now you come in here telling me I can't go to jail, Judge, because, I'm going to lose my job and I value my job. I mean, how bad of a problem do you have when you know you're being watched? You're coming in to get sentenced for violating your probation for using meth, and you come in here dirty for meth. That's not my problem. That's your problem. In regard to the matter, then, did you have a chance to go over the resentencing recommendations with Mr. Capel?
I did, Your Honor. There's nothing of a factual nature that we need to address in there. I did talk to Mr. Capel about his payments. He's indicated that he was planning on paying with his taxes. I think he has some financial difficulties due to being in and out of work. So I think he's trying to catch up on some back bills and putting the court on the back burner, so to speak. Advised him that's not a good idea. Even paying $5 a week would make an impression on the court. So I think he'll try and do better going forward. With regard to the drug screen today, he advises me that he will not pass the drug screen. And
in what respect are we not going to pass?
Said he was going to be positive for marijuana and meth.
Well, I think that's a real good reason, Mr. Capel, to start looking at why you can't make any probation cost payments. You're spending it all on meth. Anyway, go ahead, Ms. Schaub. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Your Honor, he was honest with me that he would not pass. I discussed with him where he got it, and he apparently said it was a gift. But obviously, given his circumstances, that was not a wise choice. But he does have a full-time job. If he goes to jail for 15 days, I don't know if that job will be available when he gets out of jail. So I don't know what the court wants to do with Mr. Capel. I don't know how. I had notes prior to his pleading to this that he had been testing clean and doing what he was supposed to do, but apparently he's gotten a little bit off track. I'm hoping the court will give him one more break and not put him in jail today.
Thank you. Mr. Capel, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, I work at hometown right now. We're reduced to winter hours.
What?
We're reduced hours right now because it's the slow season. So I'm only getting like 32-ish a week. So it's like $500 a paycheck, roughly, give or take, after taxes. But I should have enough today for, if not half, majority of the court costs that I owe because of 4 seasons. I clocked enough hours, I think. I'm just waiting on the W-2 SE. I worked there for 2 days.
So get this. A guy walks into court already on probation and openly admits he's going to fail his drug test. Yeah, you heard that right. Before even taking it, he flat out tells the court he's going to be positive for marijuana and meth. I mean, how bold do you have to be to walk into sentencing dirty knowing they're about to test you? Now here's the kicker. He tries to tell the judge he can't go to jail because he'll lose his job. You can practically hear the courtroom stop breathing. The judge just looks at him like, really? You value your job that much, yet you're showing up high? This one's absolutely wild. The guy, Mr. Capel, is in court for violating probation. Again. His excuse? He's been working fewer hours and struggling to pay fines. But apparently he still had enough for meth. The judge doesn't even blink before tearing through that logic. Probation officers say he's been behind on payments, claiming financial trouble. But here's the truth. If you can afford drugs, you can afford $5 a week toward your court costs. That's what the judge tells him. And she's right. When asked about the drug screen, his own attorney admits, yeah, he told me he won't pass. No shock there. The guy even says the meth was a gift. A gift? I mean, who gets meth for their birthday? That's not a celebration.
Well, Mr. Capel, anything else you'd like to add?
May should go back to regular hours, so I'll have a lot better time
How long have you been there?
since July.
And what are you working now then?
What's a rotating schedule? So it's 8 to 4 with Wednesday off. And then the Saturday off for my work camp. And then it's 9 to 4 or 9 to 5 with Wednesday off. And then I work that Saturday 8 to 1. That's if I don't get sent home early, because we have a high school kid that comes in about 3:30. I usually let him get a couple hours for the end of the day there.
Well, I have some serious concerns here. This was an underlying felony, Mr. Capel. You had 2 charges of assault with a dangerous weapon, felonious assault, felony firearm, reckless use of a firearm, and it was a very troubling underlying situation. In a dating relationship, argument the day before, pushed her on several occasions. Victim and another victim were present in the apartment. You became upset, retrieved a revolver from your bedroom, brandished the revolver, and demanded everyone leave the apartment. That was pled down by the prosecutor's office. You ended up pleading on a domestic violence, an assault and battery, and a reckless use of a firearm, all in misdemeanor court. That you were placed on probation for in January of 2023. Your bond condition, sir, where you were not supposed to be using marijuana or other types of controlled substances that weren't prescribed to you way back in November of 2022. That was put into place. That continued when you were sentenced in January of 2023. In regard to the matter, then, we've had several blips with your probation, and then most recently, what you're being sentenced for today was on September 20th, you had a positive for methamphetamine. Here we are in January of 2024, and your lawyer is telling me you're still going to be positive. I lowered your payment to $100 a month starting back then in October, and you still haven't made any payments because from what it seems like to me, the money's going out the door. Maybe you've got less hours, but you have not. How do you justify purchasing methamphetamine? You can't. And maybe it was a gift, maybe it wasn't, but now we got September and January on top of everything else going on here. It sounds to me from the behavior that was demonstrated at the underlying charge, you had probably some meth going on that day and an inability to control your anger due to the ingestion of meth. It does not do good things to people. You're lucky you didn't kill somebody that day.
That's a cry for help. Now the defense tries to paint him as honest, saying at least he admitted it. But the judge isn't buying that either. She's already dealt with him before. He's had clean tests in the past, but now he's sliding right back into the same behavior. And when it's his turn to speak, he doesn't apologize. He doesn't show remorse. He starts explaining his work schedule, talking about reduced winter hours and waiting for tax money like this is some kind of financial meeting, not a courtroom. It's painful to watch, because this isn't just some small probation hiccup. His original case was serious, felony level serious.
Absolutely ridiculous. Now you come in here telling me, I can't go to jail, judge, because, I'm going to lose my job and I value my job. If you valued your job, you wouldn't have been doing meth. You know you're being watched. I mean, how bad of a problem do you have when you know you're being watched? You're coming in to get sentenced for violating your probation for using meth, and you come in here dirty for meth. That's not my problem. That's your problem. That's a big problem. That's what you're telling me. Red flags going up all over. Problem, problem, problem. Can't even control my behavior enough when I know I'm going to go to court and get sentenced. So I am sorry, Mr. Capel. Sometimes we are our own worst enemies, aren't we? I don't know what to tell you here, but this is absolutely ridiculous.
Give me 3 weeks, I can guarantee.
She's not worried about the payment. She's worried about you doing
I can
drugs.
guarantee clean UA, and then I'll guarantee everyone after that to be clean.
Yeah, well, you should have been doing that all along, Mr. Capel. So this is where you're at today. I'm going to continue your probation. If you can't establish clean testing, get used to the bunk rack over there, because that's where you'll be back. Your outstanding balance is $795. I will allow that continued payment to commence 30 days after his release from jail. Recommence.
That was $17.95, Your Honor.
What did I say?
7.
$17.95. I'm not going to assess another attorney fee. We'll take that off of there.
Can I get a report date?
I'm going to order 15 days in jail, 0 days credit. I will hold 10 days in abeyance if you successfully pass a drug screen today at booking. If you don't, you will serve the 15 days commencing immediately. You are still required to attend the divert counseling program. You can continue attending that. So, Mr. Capel, if you can't pass the screen today, you're going to be sitting your 15 days.
And
Can't get a
then
check-in date, so.
No, it's right now.
when you
Right now.
get out of jail, you check in with your probation officer as soon as possible.
Right now, Mr. Capel, you made this bed yourself. Think about it. You got 15 nights to think about it.
Sign, and then he'll take you down to probation.
He is going to jail, right?
Yes, he's going to jail either for 5 days or 15, depending on him. So if you test clean, you'll be out in time to go to work on Monday. That key is in your hands. I can't do anything about it. In regard to the matter, that's that. Did you understand your appeal rights then, Mr. Capel?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Serious. 2 assault charges with a dangerous weapon, reckless firearm use, a violent domestic dispute where he literally pulled a revolver on people. He's lucky to even be standing in that courtroom instead of sitting behind bars long term, and yet here we are, months later, and the guy's still using meth. Still breaking the same rules that gave him a second chance. The judge looks him straight in the eye and says exactly what everyone's thinking. How do you justify buying meth when you can't even make your court payments? That's when things start to heat up, because she's about to remind him just how close he came to ruining more than his own life. The judge doesn't hold back. She reminds him that the last time he lost control, it involved meth, anger, and a gun. That combination nearly turned deadly. She says, "You're lucky you didn't kill somebody that day." And honestly, she's right. Meth and violence are a dangerous mix. This man standing there, acting like this is just another minor mistake, while the judge sees a walking, talking red flag. Then comes the part that seals his fate. He tries one last time to beg for leniency, says he just needs 3 weeks to get clean, promises he'll pass every test after that. The judge doesn't even flinch. She just says, "You should have been doing that all along." You can feel the disappointment in her tone. It's not anger and it's frustration. She knows addiction is real, but she also knows accountability has to come first. So she hits him with the sentence, 15 days in jail. She even gives him one last chance. If he somehow passes the drug screen during booking, he can shave it down to 5. But if not, he's going straight in, and she makes it crystal clear, you made this bed yourself. You can see the moment it hits him. The realization that his birthday gift and excuses have just cost him his freedom, and likely his job, too. Now, let's be honest here. This isn't just about one guy. It's about a bigger issue in courtrooms across America. Addiction, probation, and second chances. Judges have to balance compassion with public safety, and that's not an easy job. This judge could have locked him away for much longer. Instead, she gave him a short jail sentence, one more chance to clean up, and a reminder that his choices are catching up to him. That's real justice. Tough but fair. Still, it's hard not to shake your head at the whole thing. Who in their right mind walks into court for a drug violation still high on the same drug? So, what do you think? Was the judge too harsh, too soft, or just right? Personally, I think she nailed it. You can't fix addiction overnight, but you also can't ignore it when it keeps putting people in danger. At the end of the day, this guy's story is a warning about what happens when second chances go to waste. Because probation isn't a privilege you can keep abusing. It's the last rope before the fall.